Hello, everybody. Welcome to CR Wrestling Commentary. Your host, Cedric and Cedra for New Japan Pro Wrestling G1 Climax 31, Day 3. And we begin with Great Khan versus Yano Toru.
Okay.
There is a medical update, and Tangaloa, he got 2 points freely. So CJ, you can go ahead and fill him in on everything in the match if you can.
Naito got hurt day 2 of G1 when he wrestled Zack. He had a torn meniscus and a torn MCL, medial collateral ligament. So he had to forfeit all of his G1 tournament matches. So anyone that would have wrestled him got 2 points. So Tangaloa got 2 points, and although he was supposed to wrestle Naito today, he couldn't because Naito's not there. So they had him wrestle Yuji, not in the G1, just an opening match. Yuji worked on him, put on basically a leg submission clinic. His heart wasn't in it, but he was, doing enough to cause Tangaloa pain. It was a decent match. I don't think I've seen Tangaloa and Yuji wrestle before, but Tangaloa eventually got the what's it called?
I don't even know.
Tonga's finished the Tenzan.
Hey, it's a tombstone.
Okay.
I just can't. I don't know how he did it. I wasn't even in the room.
The one where he puts him on the shoulder and he drops down, like the one Rikishi did, just not.
No, yeah, that's a TTD right there.
TTD. Thank you. I couldn't remember.
Tombstone driver.
He did that and got the win on Yuji. And the next match, the first tournament match, was the Great Khan versus Toru Yano, and we hadn't watched New Japan in over a year, so we missed out on some drama. Apparently, back in March, Yano and Great Khan wrestled, and Great Khan got tied by he's got a long piece of hair in the back of his head. It goes down his back. Got tied to the rail by Yano, and it had to be cut free. So when Yano was coming out to the ring, Okan was showing him the hair that he had to cut off from back in March. Apparently he held on to it. Great Khan was not very happy about that. Went out there and started whooping Yano's ass before he even got to the ring, and pretty much had the upper hand the entire match. Yano was doing apologizing and running around. Great Khan broke out a pair of handcuffs and tried to handcuff Yano. Yano threw those to the crowd, and then he broke out his own handcuffs and attached him to the railing. Was going to try and get Great Khan over there and get him handcuffed to the railing, but Great Khan got the upper hand and handcuffed Yano to the railing. And as soon as he got him handcuffed, I said to myself, Yano's got the key. Yano had the key. He pulled out his boot and started trying to get it in there to unlock himself, but Khan saw it and took the key, threw the ref back in the ring because he got laid out earlier, and told the ref to start counting. The ref started counting. Okan threw the key to Milano Collection AT, according to Kevin Kelly, and Yano was desperately trying to get off that railing. It's not like the rails here in the States, which is those bike rails you can detach and drag with you. This one wasn't coming free, but Yano, being who he is, separated the edge of the rack of the metal barricade and pulled his hand free and jumped in the ring, and him and Okan started wrestling again. And Okan got this submission move that he's using. It doesn't like it's very effective, but he put it on him real quick and then got him in the iron claw by the head and choke slammed him and got the pin. So Okan got the 2 points. And Yano was just laying there. Okan walked around boast, got his hand raised. Then he tried to make Yano kiss his boot, and Yano hit him in the balls and ran off. And that was the match.
That was the match.
All right. It was a classic Yano match. I enjoyed it. maybe Okan, aka Oka, from a Young Lions days, was able to get a little bit of revenge against Yano from Yano beating him so bad when he was a young lion. Yano is not kind to the young lions when he has to wrestle him. It's almost like he feels like he's being besmirched by their presence.
Yeah, especially Oka. We remember that. Remember Oka and Yano, that GBH evil mean version of Yano came out. He was no talk. He was all business, and he was vicious.
She had to remember to be, jovial and jocular. He was scowling and
yes, he was not happy at all. So the Yano you see with the loud voicing and stuff, that's fake. I've been saying that for a little bit after I saw that. Because I thought maybe in GBH he was in his, I would say, hair day. He was like kind of maybe like this or something. Maybe because I had not seen that. But then all I know is this jokester as a spoiler. Spoiler meaning for this, someone that could just get the pin or whatnot quickly. Mm-hmm. But when I saw him go against Oka and that anger, it was just a different looking person. I was like, that's the real Yano. That's the real dude. Why don't they use this guy? This dude is vile. He is evil waiting for a place to happen. So
maybe
that wasn't no reason.
Maybe there's a reason for him. Maybe he don't like wrestling young lions.
Maybe he don't. I don't blame him, but wow. No. Hey, with that, y'all, let's roll. All right, so next match is Takashi Yujiro versus Kenta. And I'm going to just say this before turning it over to Cedra. In this match, Takashi, he built hope in me towards the end. He's doing better. He's doing good. And it's kind of, it's refreshing. And yeah. I'm liking it. And it's weird, but I got to view this veteran as a young lion, just like it seems like the other veterans do. And they talk about him almost upsetting Jay White last year. And I'm like, that tells too much of how you view him when he could beat somebody and it's an upset.
Yeah, and we agree. It would have been an upset because
we see where they are on the totem pole, but
as far as effort is concerned, prior to that Jay White match, he put forth no effort. When we saw he was in the G1 last year, we were like, huh? Why? Because he was always getting beat. Only time you ever saw him get a win, maybe he was in there doing the multi-man tag that he always do. But he didn't put forth any effort. He was just going through the motions. Take his loss and move on. So, of course, everybody's going to view it the way it is. So that's why Jay White came out in the street clothes last year. It was like, all right, this is going to be easy. And a sense of, what the fuck, seemed to have cropped up in Yujiro. I'm formidable, motherfucker. So he had to show him. And apparently listen to the Kevin Kelly and the British dudes commentating with Chris or something. Apparently he's
I think he said he's Australian.
He said he's gonna try his best Australian accent. He's a Brit.
He's a Londoner.
So Yujiro, beat Kota apparently coming into the G1.
Yeah, we covered that.
Kota Ibushi, you said that?
We covered that match.
When he wrestled Kota Ibushi?
Yeah. That was day one.
Oh, he just said, okay, cool. I thought he said coming into the G1. My bad.
Wait. Oh, no. Yeah, coming into it. I saw that match. My bad. That was on opening day or something thereof. Some kind of event they had, but it wasn't part one. And I was skipping around, but nothing said G1. So, okay.
Oh, okay. So this Kota and Kenta comes in trying to get the 2 sweet. And, not Kota and Kenta, sorry. Yujiro and Kenta. Kenta comes in trying to get it 2 sweet because they're both Bullet Club and Yujiro wasn't having it. Kenta tried to get the 2 sweet from Peter or Peter, however you pronounce.
I don't know.
Pronounce her name.
Bunny girl.
And she looked at him and turned her head and flung that hair and walked off like, So he didn't get it from her neither. And the commentators went on to go. There's a sub faction in Bullet Club. House of Torture.
House of Torture.
So it's some politicking going on in Bullet Club. But Yujiro brought more than what Kenta was expecting. Kenta had to, kind of step up his game because apparently he was taking Yujiro lightly too. I'm not going to give a blow by blow like like Cedric would, but Yujiro showed some heart, some effort, and towards the end of the match, he showed some urgency. He kicked out of things that we didn't think he'd kick out, like Kenta's double foot stomp and he avoided the go to sleep twice. So much so that wasn't how he got finished. In this match, it was very surprising, and he avoided it with a real good counter too. I can't remember what it was.
DDT.
He counted into a rolling DDT, and it was real nice. You just don't expect that. Yeah, Yujiro is a trained professional wrestler, and he probably went through the dojo, I'm guessing, but you just don't expect that from him because he's never shown it to us in all the time that we watched. But maybe he's done something a little different this past year. But Kenta realized that it wasn't going to be a walk in the park to beat him, and he put it. What did he put him in, Cedric?
I'm in an omoplata crossface, or as some are calling it, the label lock crossface. And I'm a little confused on the naming of it because they kept calling it a label lock in WWE because of the Bella twins or something, and they kept calling it that in their honor, their name, and their legends, even though they ain't done shit. But then on AEW, which is one of the few things that Excalibur is great for, is going on a history of those that it came from. And so I don't know. I'm just, instead of going through the debate route on where it came from and all this, I just call it the omoplata. And since they add a crossface to it, it's an omoplata crossface. Or in Kenta's, homage, he calls it, the game over. So
it was over.
Yujiro held out in that move a little bit.
He held out. And when Kenta wrenched him back and arched him backwards, he tapped. Put out that pressure on that shoulder apparently, and that was it. Bullet Club music played, and then what's his name? Bro puts up the 2 feet. And,
after he lost.
Yeah, and Kenta answered it, and there you go.
All right then, so let's roll.
I'm ready.
Okay, so our next match is Ishii Tomohiro versus Ibushi Kota in a very, I'm gonna say honestly, probably the realest match you're gonna see in the G1. It started off with Ishii blistering Ibushi's chest in the beginning with chops.
Yes.
And what I told Cedric then was like, it hurts as much to deliver that chop as it is to take it. I mean, it's like Full Metal Alchemist. It's equivalent exchange. You're gonna hurt yourself. In the past, you'll see Ishii chopping people, and then later that arm is hurting. His arm is hurt, but nobody's done anything to it.
Yeah, because he's done so much chopping.
Did you want to say something? Because you seem like you was gearing up to say something.
It's Ishii, so you know what kind of match this was.
It's a good match. It's a great match.
It was hard hitting, and he was trying to piss off Kota.
Yep.
He worked hard to piss off Kota. And it's like he got Kota aggravated just enough, and Kota started slapping him in the face and trying to chop back, and Ishii wasn't responding. He's looking at him like, "What the hell was that? I need emotional content." He was just standing there, and of course that had to be infuriating because you're trying to. I'm not gonna say Kota was laying him in, but you smacking him across the face and he's just giving him the blank look like, "What the fuck is going on?"
He had his hands on his hips, looking at him like, "Is that it?
Yeah.
Is that it? Is that it?" And Kota's like, "God damn it!" Because Kota. Here's the thing: Kota wants to strike in a working way. And Ishii is trying to make him
blast him in the face.
Yes. And that might be Ishii trying to lure him in to a fight. A real fight. Ishii, how can I say this? There are rumors that that's what he has done. And that's what New Japan office will provoke some people to try to do. I don't, these two don't have anything against each other that I've ever heard of or know of, but this one dude, and I don't know who he was, but he was like, Ishii will try to get more out of you than you can deliver. And yeah, matches like this will show that.
Mm-hmm.
If you didn't watch this match, then you missed out.
Yeah, you should go back and find it and watch it because it was a damn good match.
And it was a clubbing match.
Kota got pulled into an Ishii match.
Yep.
And anybody who gets pulled into an Ishii match, even if they end up beating them, they don't really win.
And honestly, it might be for this. There was a point, the tide changer of the match, and they going back and forth doing what they do. And Ishii took a kick, and took a high middle kick from Ibushi.
Mm-hmm.
He dropped down.
Mm-hmm.
Then he had to recover, rise up, and deliver a straight back, the battering ram headbutt to the jaw and throat area.
A rising from the mat. He goes on all fours.
So he's got all that leg power behind it.
It was a vertical headbutt. It wasn't lateral. It wasn't horizontal.
You could hear it, and Kota fell back.
He caught it in the chin and in the jaw and neck area, and he fell out.
Kota fell back rigid. And you don't want to see that in any sport. You really don't. Kota fell back rigid. He hit rigid. He didn't protect his head or nothing. And my daughter, our daughter was watching, and I mentioned to her, Kota was probably unconscious
until he hit the mat.
Yep.
And even then, nobody was home because Marty knew that the dude was rocked because he kept slamming his hand down on the mat by his head,
trying to wake him up. Like, do you hear this? There are little tricks to the trade, little tricks to the trade. And after that, Ibushi was not there.
It was like a step or two off. It was like almost like he was moving through quicksand.
Yes, like he's trying to fight underwater.
Yeah,
it was weird. See that
he was doing his thing, but his reaction time was off. He tried to flip out of a backdrop. He just barely made it over and kind of smacked the back of his head in the process. It was like he was moving in slow motion.
He tried to throw a high kick that would have not gotten to the head, but maybe the bicep, and it was so slow.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, everything he did, it lost impact. It lost urgency. It lost that zeal that Ibushi has. And the match ended the way it was supposed to end, but they look back at it, it's going to be like, man, we should have switched it up and have the decision be different. Kota, it wasn't even a flurry or slurry of moves.
Nope, it was a strong knee strike followed by the Kamagoye.
And then he just fell on him.
He nailed it. It was solid, but it wasn't.
It was weak, but solid.
Yeah.
If y'all know pro wrestling, especially New Japan style, and you know Kota Ibushi, you know this was not. It was below half-ass delivery.
He delivered the move, but he didn't put any oomph into it. He didn't put any Kota into it.
It was bad, and he got the win. And Ishii selling the move, took forever to get up. But even though he got up and was gone to the back,
Kota was still stretched out in the ring.
And he went home.
And when they rolled him out the ring, he crumbled to the floor. They had to stand him up and walk him out. So we hope that...
Last time we saw something like that was Shibata. Shibata was worse off, yes. But if this
nobody carried Shibata. He drug himself as he was breaking down to the back.
Yep. And this right here, if it's a work, it's beautiful. And if it's not, man, because I'm worried. We don't have one injury, and you don't want to see an athlete get injured, so.
Especially it seemed like Kota hasn't been back that long since he suffered from asphyxiate pneumonia.
Yeah, and Cedra explained that to me. You want me to tell it in short, or you want to explain it?
I can explain it. You asphyxiate, you choke on food and it goes down your trachea and possibly into your lungs. That's what asphyxiation is.
Yeah, well, I thought just asphyxiation was choking in general.
Yeah, but yeah, it's just the degree. So apparently he asphyxiated on some food and it got into his lungs and caused pneumonia.
That's a scary thing. I don't even know how they rectify something like that. They didn't even go into that. But
So I don't know either. But if something went down into your lungs, it must have been like a bacterial pneumonia. I have to look it up because viral pneumonia is when you have a cold or something and you got mucus in your lungs and your lungs aren't moving the mucus. When you cough, although it's debilitating and painful when you're sick, it's protecting your lungs because it moves the mucus up and out. If that mucus doesn't move up and out and just sits there in your lungs, that's when pneumonia develops. And there are different types of pneumonia. There's viral pneumonia, there's bacterial pneumonia, there's fungal pneumonia, there's walking pneumonia.
Yeah, fungal and walking pneumonia.
So his asphyxiation pneumonia might have been bacterial caused by something getting down in there.
So he just got back from that. I hope this don't take him out. I hope he's all right. I hope it's just, because they might say, hey, look, the concussion issue, you can't go back. You can't wrestle for a while. So they might say, look, forfeit these matches, but you get to come back. Who knows?
Or it could be a work.
Yeah.
It could just be selling it that well.
So we'll just have to see. So Ibushi win by pinfall, but they might want to look back, as I said earlier, look back and be like, you know what? When it's like that, go ahead and get the win, Ishii. It's all good. Anyway, that's it. Let's roll. Main event, Zack Sabre Jr. versus Takagi Shingo. And this was something. I'm gonna tell you things I noticed about Zack Sabre Jr. All right. This guy's a world-class wrestler. He's damn good. I've always known that. All right. He's evolved from what he showed us before. Yeah. He has heavily evolved, and he showed it in this match that I would, in all honesty, 4.7 to 5 stars is one of them. It's all about how you feel, the emotions that go into it, because some stars are given because you have that level of emotion. You just, damn, that was great, and yada, yada, yada. But they put on a great wrestling classic in this match. And Zach, what I noticed, because Cedar wants to say something, I'm going to give it a flow in a moment. His body thinks before his brain does. You watch this match against Takagi Shingo, Zach's, when he would get a move on, you would see him hook a move on real quick. It's instant. It's almost unconscious, second nature. And then he'll switch into something else that's sort of similar, sort of ish.
Perhaps more effective.
Yes. But you can tell when he lock on is instinctive. It's training. And then he's like, oh, wait, I wanted this instead. You could see that on a couple of occasions. And you don't see it in every single match because some matches just flow. This one, there was a little bit of flummoxing because this was a battle for Sabre Jr. And this was championship mode Sabre Jr. I like this guy. I like him. You got to see everything out of him. And he had to, and he pulled everything out of Takagi. You got to see that. That was great. You want to take the floor, you can take it right now, girl.
Shingo
because he can
do no bulldozer. Wrong. And he can do no wrong.
He can do no wrong.
He can do no wrong.
You've got to say that. You know how you get.
It's always gonna be the best of Shingo and some juniors or some heavyweights or some schmub some schlub in the ring. But Shingo's a bulldozer, and that's what you see most of the time because that's what gets results. And that don't bother me none. But you got to see how versatile a Shingo is in this match because he had to be thinking and changing up his game to deal with Zack. Because Zack is a handful. He's a little arrogant, snide handful of lean, mushy crap. Sucks.
Zack led this match. Zack called this match. I'm just realizing that now.
I mean, if you're gonna call it to your victory, sure.
It's about how the match went. It's a certain thing I've noticed. Shingo calls a match. It's more of an Ishii style match.
Yeah.
And then you get rapid counters, and I mean rapid counters near the end,
Mm-hmm.
and then it's over. This was not so rapid. It was catch head sort of. Excuse me, belching and stuff.
It started rapid. The pace it fluctuated from high pace to low pace the whole time. You know, you weren't ever bored, but neither one of them is a Zack only gets boring when his opponent just don't know what to do.
Yeah.
You know, and then I'm gonna twist you up into Knots Clinic and listen to you scream. At about the fifth scream, it's like just tap already so we can all move on. This was a good back and forth. And they were both doing their best to neutralize the other. And get a fair amount of revenge. Shingo was trying to get some vengeance for
Naito.
Since Naito suffered his injuries during the match with.
Yep, and he used Naito's boast. And then Zack was like, "Yeah, I put him in the hospital. You want to join him?"
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh no!"
And you know, and with the way the match ended, it made sense. I don't like it because Zack's a fuck, but you know, it does make sense. But I also think that this will be the only one that Takagi is gonna lose.
If he, like I said, champion can't lose more than 3. They will never let him lose more than 3. And this is the first.
And I'm like, he should get no less than the Okada treatment, especially since he's did 3 times the wrestler Okada is. So he shouldn't lose anymore.
The spots in this match, there were points where they were working each other's legs, where Takagi was able to get him up on that rope and then sliding elbow the leg that he was posted on. So Zack sells beautifully.
Yeah.
Zack makes you think he is really messed up. I love it.
Because that move should have hurt both knees.
Yes. Zack does an amazing job. Another spot, they those dragon screws, and then you've got the sliding attacks. You've got the penalty kicks, and you've got the punt kicks.
The European uppercuts.
Like he loves to do.
This is only strong offensive attack. Other than them kicks, he don't have no. He can't throw bows. He can't punch.
And I love that because he'll throw the elbow like you asshole. Then they hit him one time and he just dropped like a housewife.
Yep.
You know, some people are like, "Oh man, Cedric, what the fuck?" But yo, it's the only example I can give.
Yeah.
You know, he falls like a sack of potatoes off a table. You know, he hits the mat like pumpkin seeds you don't like anymore. You know, there's some things, but you know, when I say he falls like a housewife, you're like, oh crap, that's the severity of it.
Yeah, you get it.
Zack, he hit the Zack driver, that Michinoku driver 2. He hit it. It was kind of a weird release tossing way.
Flesh.
Yeah, so it made sense for Takagi to kick out, especially the time it took to get the cover. And I hadn't seen him do it before. I hadn't seen him. That was my first time. I'm almost wishing that Takagi would remove a few moves from his arsenal. The Death Valley Driver. No, he needs to remove it because it kills the legend of that move. That's a legit. Someone pick you up on their shoulder and drop you down on your neck like that. You don't need to kick out.
Cedric, that's already been killed. It's been killed long before we saw him using it.
I know that, but that's what I'm saying. I'd remove. If the move isn't going to get you a victory and it's a heavy damn move like that, I just wouldn't do it. I got to get the win. You got to protect my shit. And what's the point on doing, made in Japan when it's never going to get the win unless against the young lion?
Maybe it's less about getting the win and more about adding more damage.
Adding damage, that's a good thing. But you get tired of consistent fail. I'm like, just give up on it for a little bit. Let it go away. Bring it back after a while or something. You know, like use it only in big matches and they have to grab the ropes or they kick out like at the last damn second, you know? But you do it every match, it's meaningless. You see what I'm saying? It's just a hip toss. That's what it's become, a hip toss. I'm just saying, for pro wrestling to get back to the glory days when it could beat out boxing in draws, you're gonna have to legitimize these moves.
I think here is the problem with what you just said. Wrestling is not going to get back to the glory days.
It could, but people like you is not gonna let it happen.
People like me,
yeah, it's not gonna get back. Well, shit,
because you would have to scrub not only the people watching it, but the ones who are wrestling brains and start them over.
Yeah,
and that's not. You say yeah,
yeah,
like it's something simple. It's not.
No, I say yeah, as in that's what needs to be done. But if you and anyone else say, look, it's never going to get done, then you know what? There's no push to get it done. But if you got all the wrestling fans that watch wrestling that are asses in seats and they talk about how they bury moves and how all these moves are buried, they don't give a shit to watch wrestling anymore. You'll see that shit change overnight. I promise you. I put my right nut on it.
I get that, but you have to have an audience that's worth a damn.
Yeah.
Okay. See where the problem lies?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I'm letting you know what it would take, and it wouldn't take much.
Now, if you get the offspring of these people and start teaching them what wrestling was like and how it should be, that's different. But you have to get the offspring of these people before they get to their own offspring, which is going to be hard. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay, and I'm not saying it's impossible, but for the most part, it's a wrap for this generation. You got to look to the next one.
This is a world where if you expect things to get better, you've expected too much. It takes an immediate, radical, drastic change overnight in order for anything to get done. That's just life. All right. So for pro wrestling, which has a niche audience anyway, meaning it's a small audience, you can get results faster, a lot faster. But hey, I guess for me it's just a pipe dream, but
it's a long game. It's a long game like anything else. If you want people to stop being stupid anti-vaxxers, most likely it's going to be hard to undo the dumb that's done to the ones that's grown and walking around now. You have to get to the one while they're young. Like the dude said in what was the movie with Jet Li where he was a dog?
Unleashed.
Yeah, you got to get to him early.
Yeah.
You had that boy at a young age and trained him to be a dog. You get him young enough, you can train him to do anything for good and for bad. The goal here would be for good.
Yeah.
So providing like NWA and ROH is trying to providing a quality product that is lacking all that bullshit that AEW and WWE has, that's a good way to go. But as I said, you got to get to them before their parents get to them and say, hey, check out AEW and all these garbage wrestlers where they jump off of a building onto a wooden spike through the eye and survive for $2.
Yeah. You do got to get to them. I'm not denying anything you're saying.
I'm not saying that you're denying it.
You on the nose. You are.
But I guess the thing is that in wrestling, whether it's the golden days or not, there are always moves in the match that are done that could be finishers that don't finish. They never finish. It's almost like Ric Flair going to the top rope on the corner. He ain't never gonna do nothing up there, but he does it every match.
Hey, he's come off and hit that single arm axe handle a couple of times.
A couple of times in 50 years.
But when he do and he nails it, you're stunned. You're like, oh, that's what he's been trying to do.
I don't think I've ever seen it. I've never seen him do anything.
I've seen him do that. I've seen him do the elbow.
You could watch him for a lot longer than I have. But in the short time that I was watching him, he'd go up there,
get slammed off the top,
shake his head no, and get thrown off the top and land on his side. I ain't never seen him do nothing up
But
there.
It looked good, didn't it?
I mean,
yeah, you believed he got slammed.
He gets slammed.
See? People think it's so fake that they don't even get slammed.
Then what's happening?
Yeah, huh? Yeah.
These are the same people.
I've talked to these people.
These are the same people going to get dewormer from the store, so we know what the problem is.
Or, to block COVID.
Maybe that's the problem.
Horse dewormer.
Maybe,
yeah, that'll
maybe they
do
got
it.
worms on their brain, and the worms are like
them ticks sucking on your old ass brain.
There you go.
I had a few ticks in my day. That's about how you would have said it.
It's gone off the rails a little
bit. A lot bit.
It was a good match. That one decisively. He should have won with the move. What's the move, Cedric?
Which one? Because he finishes with a lot of things.
The move he finished with on this one, it was this.
Oh, this one, that was the vertical cross arm breaker.
Yeah, he should have won with that because when that arm bent, I would have tapped. I would have tapped a long time ago. Yeah, like I said, he sucks, but he should have won with doing that. It makes sense. And it was a back and forth match, and I really don't think Shingo should lose anymore.
The payoff in a match is when you work a body part so long that the opponent tries to use it and can gain nothing with it.
Yeah, and that was happening with because he kept attacking the pumping bomber arm so that he could not be pumping
bomber.
That he was trying to block the pumping bomb because he knew he caught one or two of those full force. That was gonna be it, and he wasn't gonna get up.
Cedric was laughing. She was like, "Even at half strength, it'll knock you on your ass."
It will, and he caught it at half strength and knocked him on his ass, but he didn't finish him.
No, but the puppy bomber never finishes anybody.
No, but
it leads up to.
But for Zach, hey man, you might as well give him a roofie.
The instant roofie.
Yeah, because Zach is so little and he can't take much impact. He's gained some weight, but he still cannot take much impact. he had to neutralize the pumping bomber, and he did.
And he scored the submission with that vertical cross arm breaker, the one I gave Nikumu.
And Takagi was trying to neutralize him too. He was trying to neutralize that neck and head because when Zach's neck and head are hurting, he can't lock in the pain.
Yeah, you noticed that
because it sends it down his arms and shoulders and it saps his strength. He was trying to deactivate that as well, but Takagi is not as well versed in dishing out the pain in that manner as Zach is. So it makes sense for the match to go the way it went.
This match was refreshing. It was good. You got to see a game plan on both sides.
Yeah, you got to see thinking wrestlers.
You got to see versatility and thinking and style.
That's what's missing from AEW and WWE. They're not thinking wrestlers. What?
I'm sorry. I'm like, that just sum up the promotions, both of them.
They're not thinking wrestlers. When you're watching a good match, you can see the wrestlers think. You can see them call audibles and make decisions there in the ring. You see that in NWA in New Japan, that in ROH at times, depending upon who's wrestling. And you saw two thinking wrestlers, and it was a good result.
I enjoyed this match. Could I watch it again? It depends on my mood.
I think I could. There were no dry moments. There were no moments where I was like, I could be filing ants.
They did not lay on that mat doing nothing. They didn't do that mess for long.
No.
Only when it was necessary. So that's a good thing. These two, they worked this match. They worked the crowd. They did great. I enjoyed this. This was refreshing. It really was. I've seen them tie up in tag matches last year. Yada yada. Yeah, I've seen a couple of singles. Yeah, okay, yeah. But this right here, G1 main event style, they did, because this is the only meeting that they're gonna have. I'm looking forward to more of Zach and Sabre and Takagi's matches against other opponents. Tonga Loa in this, he adds a refreshing bit.
Yeah, because and they were going over there. Tonga Loa wrestled Nagata in the first match because he was supposed to wrestle Naito, and Naito had to forfeit. So they made sure he was going to work. He was going to get some sort of wrestling done today. But Tonga Loa, and they were talking about how he has not had very many been tagged up with his brother or a multi-man, and so he got an opportunity to show what he can do,
yes,
and the ability to carry a match alone. They did a good job. I mean, Yuji didn't lay it on him, but Yuji don't lay it on nobody anymore, really.
Tonga Loa's about to learn in the G1. He's gonna have to find himself.
Yeah, he mellow, but once, yeah, about let's see, week 3, week 4, they started to find that second win. They got to find it somewhere.
Man, that's the grueling. But it's like, yeah, you know, you go in, you put in your 15 minutes, 15 to 20 to 25 minutes every single night in these hard hitting matches. No.
I ain't nobody to tag out to. So I'm looking forward to see what Tonga Loa can do because he's a good competitor. But we're gonna actually see what he got.
So, hey everyone. I want to thank y'all for listening.
I want to thank y'all for listening.
Debo me. What's up? Okay, look. He wants to thank y'all for listening. You want to do the outro? Can you do it? Because I barely got it.
You got it.
I want to thank y'all for your time, patience, and energy. You could have listened to many a podcast at this moment, but you chose ours. Although this ain't the podcast, it's still a thing on YouTube. See, like I said, I ain't got it. I ain't got it. But I can get this part. Okay? It's been Cedric and Cedra for CR Wrestling Commentary, New Japan Pro Wrestling, G1 Climax 31, Day 3. Thank you for your time, patience, and energy. Good luck, everyone, on your days in and out. Thank you for listening. Good night, everyone. See you next time.